Hello folks, back out in the garage again today. I'm going to work on this hood some more. Not sure if this video is going to actually make it to production or not, because I might screw something up pretty bad. But I'm going to give it a shot anyway. If it works, I'll bring you along for the ride. All right, something that I haven't been out here in a couple of days, and I've been thinking about this thing nonstop, and there's a couple of things that's been bothering me. If I take my straight edge and I put it up here, it rocks. Get you in and see. On that body line, it rocks. Move it back, it still rocks. Move it back a little bit more, uh-oh, gets flat. Right in here. Right in there, gets flat. So, there's, the question is, how do I fix this? Yeah, I know that there's a complex curve. It goes this way, like that, and like this. So I have this board that I made the other day, you might recall in my other video, and I said that because of it not being even, there's areas like that there where there's a gap there, that I couldn't use it for sanding. But then the more I got thinking about this, it really wouldn't be a big stretch to do something similar what I made, that mold that I made of this here, and then take and put Bondo all along the bottom of that in the same fashion. Basically just put the saran wrap on the hood up over here where it's, I don't think it's damaged there, and then put the Bondo on the saran wrap, put this down into the Bondo, let it harden, and then I do have something that I can actually use to sand with by taking a long strip of sandpaper and putting it, stapling it back here, and then running it all along the base, putting it on the hood, and then stapling it at the other end. That would hold it in place, and then I would be able to actually use this as a very, very long sanding board, so that I would be sure to get the correct bow of the hood, at least as close as I can get it. So I've got two lines marked out here where the board is. I'm going to lay out the saran wrap, get it wet, lay it out, and then put some Bondo on the saran wrap and put this board down in the Bondo. For some of you professional body guys out there, this is way overkill, I understand. I'm not a professional body guy, I've never proclaimed to be. I'm actually more of an engine guy myself, but I do enjoy doing the body work. It's a challenge sometimes, especially stuff like this. So please bear with me, and like I said, if this turns out to be a complete flop, you probably never see it. But if it works, I'll bring you back. All right, I got the body filler on the plastic. The wood's down in the body filler. I tried to put something heavy on it, like a paint can, to push it down even further, but unfortunately the thing just wanted to slide off the hood, so I had to leave it where it's at. It's still almost perfectly, missing by about a 1/4 inch up front, but it should be fine. We'll see how it works. Okay, the area that I have, that I made this thing on, you can't see any light underneath it. All you can see is the body filler. Until you get to down here, it separates some. I wasn't quite worried about this area down here. And when I say light, I mean a bright light. I've got an LED sitting right behind it. Put the LED light on the other side. Same thing, no light coming through. It fits perfect. So if you move it over here, put the light behind it there, still no light. If you move everything this way, you see a slight bit of light down in the middle there. Hard to see with the camera, I realize, especially with me moving it all over the place. But I can see a little bit of light coming through right in here. See if I move the light, you can see it better. See it coming through, but just barely. So it needs to definitely be sanded right in there. Some extra filler put in there and sanded. Now if I move it up here, that's when things really gets crazy. I don't know if you guys can see that. Quite a bit of light coming through there, but it goes all the way up to the top. A little bit heavier right here in the middle, but for the most part it's pretty even. So I think my biggest problem now, of course, I got to fill areas like this here, but the body filler is going to have to be feathered out further out this way a little bit, on both sides probably. Let me check this other side. I didn't check that right up here close to the thing there. That's pretty tight there. You know, a little bit of light coming through, but not much. I don't know if you guys can see it at all. Maybe if I move the light around, you can start to see it a little bit. There's a very little bit of light, so it does need to be filled a little bit out this way too. So now, once this gets good and hard, and here's what it looks like, by the way. The saran wrap, when this stuff hardens, it pulls up because the Bondo, I guess, kind of compresses or condenses or something, and it's really hard to get all the little wrinkles out, but it's pretty darn smooth, just like that other piece was. So, like I said, when I got down here at the end, the gap gets so large, I didn't want to just fill that, so. But it's pretty smooth. I shaved off the edges with the cheese grater file, and I'll probably go right along the edge here just to make sure that it's not too sharp or anything sticking up this way, to make sure that it's not going to interfere with the sanding. So now the sandpaper, I'll just staple it back here or nail it, and then run it down, leave it loose, flip it over, and then pull it around, and then staple or nail it there. And that should hold it in place, as long as I don't get too wild with it, to be able to get some of this kind of action. Use it as a sanding board, just like I did the other piece, except this sanding board has the contour. Like I said, professional body men may not need to go through this kind of stuff, but I'm not a professional body man, never have proclaimed to be, but I use what tricks that I know I can use, and And this is one that I just learned today. So I'll work on this a little bit and bring you back if I have any developments. Okay, this is what a 1987 Chevy R10 pickup truck hood sanding board looks like. I've got the 80 grit on there. If you pick it up, bows in the middle, of course, because it goes up into the curve. So, but it'll stay perfectly straight all the way. And just that little bit of sanding is revealing that I've got paint primer coming off here that I painted on before I've got done last time. We got primer coming off here, not touching there until way up here. And then it's on metal. And it touches metal up there all the way. Or it touches the hood. See how far I have to go. Okay, now I'm scuffing all this around here, all that, nothing getting scuffed here, nothing being touched. Now this is a hard board, so it shouldn't tell any lies. If you have a sanding board with foam on it, the foam can actually cause it to sand a little bit more than what you need. A hard board shouldn't. So from what I'm seeing, I've got to fill all the way into here and see what happens up here. So as you see, I'm touching way up there where the brown paint's coming off. Looks like I'm scuffing right over here, showing that it's high. That's actually body filler still. So I'll keep going at that until it's metal here. So not touching here or any of this in here, all the way up to here. Let's try this other side. Let me dry that off. I'm going to do this a little bit and get an exact and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, bring it in and show you what I got. Okay, because of the oil canning on this hood, the moving around, that won't be fixed until I put some stuff in underneath on the braces. But because of that, over here, it's just hitting it here and then up there. You see the light stuff there, here, all the way across the front, then again across here, and then up there. So I'm not really worried about this area here on either side. This is my main focus, and as you can see, there's still quite a bit of paint that hasn't been really hit with the sandpaper. The rib here in the middle is pretty darn close. It's taking it off here. Let's see, here, all the way up, scuffing it lightly here. Doesn't touch there until you get up to about right up there. Yeah, right up there. So you got from here to about here that is low, which also seems to reflect back here. No, the paint's not really being scuffed up there, but it is, you know, pretty much everywhere else. Right in here is probably just a skosh low. Same with here. So I'm definitely going to be mixing up a batch of Bondo and smearing it on there. Even if I smear a really thin coat of it all up in here, just to try to level things out, I'll do that. It would be just a very light coat. So I'm going to scuff this here, all the shiny stuff here by hand, and put it, I'll make me a mark where I need to go, and we'll put some skim coat of filler on it and see what happens. We might be getting close to this thing. Alright, so here's what I've got, a little bit of sanding. You can see that I'm taking it off here in the middle, all the way out here to the side. I'm probably going to hit all this area out here with a DA sander. I'm pretty sure I didn't need all that. And then up there, it's pretty thick. That's because I'm so darn short. It was hard to reach, and I think that's knocking the board up and causing it to take the paint out here. So I'm probably going to feather the edges around here with the DA sander and 40 grit, and then come back and see if that makes any difference in actually starting to knock out some of the stuff here in the middle. It doesn't feel low, but it's acting low because of all that area back in there. Being so high. So let me do that and I'll bring you right back. Alright, I've got it as good as I'm going to get it. The next thing to go on it will be the high build primer. There's a high spot right here. I think that may be actually from the braces underneath. This thing still does quite a bit of oil canning that I'll have to fix before I start using this truck much. But for now, everything is is smooth. It feels all the same contour. The my guide tells me it's still just a tiny bit low in the middle, possibly, or maybe not, or maybe it's just a little high back here, or up front and in the back there. But it's close enough to where I don't think that I'm going to notice it, or anybody else for that matter. Put it down there. Looks good. Looks good. Over there. Looks good. When you get up front there, there's a little bit of a slight gap. But same with over there. All the way up the contour line looks pretty good. Out here looks good. It's a keeper. I'm going to leave it just like that. While this Bondo here was hardening enough to work with, I got over here and started working on some of this. I got that pretty much all sanded. I still got to do a little bit of contouring for this one line here, and I'll probably need a little bit more filler right in there, but the rest of it feels pretty good. A little bit of spot putty here and there. This area here, the other day I said that I ran my hand across it and I didn't feel anything anymore, but then the other night I was sitting over here in this chair and looking down that body line. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's definitely, well, it's not as bad now because I knocked some of it off and pounded down a high spot, but it's going to need a little bit of attention. The area right in here, right in there is low, and then this area here where the paint is still there is low because that's all been sanded. Then I took and tapped that down with the hammer a little bit, same as with that, and you can see where the original Bondo was. So I'll have to do a little bit of work on that, but otherwise it's not too bad. That's kind of weird. My old phone that isn't even hooked up to any kind of cell service anymore, that I use sometimes out here for taking video, all of a sudden started giving me an alert for an Amber Alert. I didn't even think that would be possible, but I guess it is. But I didn't get one on the phone that I'm using right now, and that one is hooked to internet and cell phone service. But anyway, flip you back around. I also did a little bit more work on this area up here. It's still pretty friendly. It waves at you when it goes by. And there's one area right here. Oops, I guess I ground that a little too thin. Am I going to weld that? No. I just tapped it down, and we'll fill that with some body filler and call it done. But I'm going to do a little bit more work out here and see if I can get some more other things straight. I think down here I'm just about done. This one here feels pretty good. It might need a little bit more here in the back, but we'll have to see. Pretty sure this one's done. Yeah, it feels pretty good. And these over here, are also good. So the next project, once I get that area back there, that rear quarter panel done, then I'll move over to this passenger side door. It's got some issues right in here that I'll be using that board sander for. Right in here there's a dent, and I got this one pretty much here by the door lock. I think that's about it. Oh, there's a dent here. Yep. And then I'll check all this stuff here. I feel waviness there. Right in there is the low spot. This is an area that my dad did have an accident in, evidently, because we found Bondo all in there. So then once those are done, I'm pretty sure that I can just start sanding with regular DA paper, getting ready for the high build primer, which will hopefully come next weekend. So I'm going to get busy, and you guys, if you partake in such a thing, have a adult beverage for me and congratulate me on getting this darn hood finally close enough to where we can call it done. I'm going to get busy and do a little bit more work. Okay, I'm back here working on the rail of the bed. Off camera, I put another coat of body filler on it, and then sanded it down with the board sander. That right there. Air file, I guess what it's called. Everything looks good. I've got a couple of areas that I need to come back and put some filler in, as marked. There's really not a whole lot. That one there, that's a dig in from the applicator. I got this area here, here, and here. And then even though these are showing to be high with the shiny metal, it feels very, very smooth. Here's another 2 areas right there I need to mark. Let me get my pencil. A little bit right there. Make that a little stronger. So I'm going to mix a little bit of body filler and put that on. Won't be a whole lot because it doesn't need a whole lot. But I'll go ahead and do that and put it on, let it dry. Hopefully I get that sanded. We can call this panel done. It's been a long road to hoe. Got a little bit of contouring to do right there. I'll get that with my next pass when I sand this stuff down here with the body file or the air file. But happy with it. Okay, I'll bring you back when something develops. Okay, the bed rail is done. It's as straight as it's going to get. And actually it's pretty darn straight. So, getting late tonight. I'm going to call it a night. Do a couple closing words and call this video a wrap. I'm tired. Been out here since 2 o'clock or so. It's now 10 o'clock. Got quite a bit done though. I got, as you saw, I got the hood done. I got the front fender done. The bed rail on the rear quarter panel I got done. I'm almost done with the stuff on the bottom. I still got to finish that new little area that popped up, and some of the areas that I put some primer on the door, I noticed aren't quite right, so I'll need to redo those. But the reason why I put primer on everything is because I have quite a damp garage. It's like you've seen before. It's got a dirt floor, and sometimes when it rains, it comes down, and also just condensation from the roof. But anyway, I'm gonna call this one a wrap. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video or not, but we're now over 200 subscribers, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're new to my channel, if you like this kind of content, old fart working on old cars, then please like and subscribe, and I'll bring you along for the ride. And thank you for coming along for the ride. Have a good day.